I heard about two young men who were walking along discussing life and its problems. One of them said to the other, "Some people say that the events of life are completely random and that there is no purpose whatsoever to life in the universe." The other one replied, "I don't believe that at all. There's too much evidence of a higher power working in my life." He went on saying, "Look at my social life, my schoolwork, my family life. It seems that someone is out to get me." Now, I think we can understand how this young fellow actually felt. We've all been there and done that. From time to time, it seems as though everything is falling apart, that the whole world is out to get us. Don't tell me that you don't know what I'm talking about. There is a country song with lyrics that say, "Every time I make my mark, someone paints the wall." Quite cheery, really. Now, it seems that we do have days like this, but there is an answer. When we cry out to God, God answers. It could be that we are like that little boy who said his prayers with a paper bag covering his head. "Lord, I'll tell you what I did today, but I'm not going to tell you who I am." Actually, many of us are like that little boy. We might gladly confess what we've done or what we didn't do if we didn't have to let God know who it was. Some of us don't want to speak to God because of what we've done, what we may have said, or where we may have been. There may be things that we have left undone and we feel as though we've let so many other people down. And so we would prefer to stay in the background for a little while longer. Anonymous may well be the word. The truth is that when we need God in our lives, at that moment we need him even more. We should come to God in prayer because confession is good for us. When sin catches up, we should call on God to rescue us. Jesus may not pull us out of all situations that we get ourselves into, at least not in the way that we might like, but he does promise to be with us and guide us through them all. We're never on our own. An old preacher once said, "We can be confident that God will hear our prayers just as God has heard the prayers of the saints throughout the generations." As we read the scriptures, there are so many examples of the goodness of God as people in desperate moments, in desperate situations, have waited upon the Lord for an answer. God answers prayer, but we don't always pray. There is an enemy, and it's true. He is about disrupting and destroying. He is subtle and he's sneaky and he's determined, but we have an amazing weapon: prayer. Hear these wonderful words from 1 John 5, verses 14 and 15. This is the confidence that we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we asked of him. They are great words of encouragement, words of hope, words of grace, all wrapped up in a promise that God has given to you and me. He'll be with us always. That's worth thinking about. Have an amazing week.